What if I told you that everything you've been taught about reality is only a fraction of the truth? That beyond the physical, beyond the mind, and even beyond the emotional energies we experience daily, there exists a higher realm, the fifth dimension. The revelation shows exactly what is going on inside Mr. Cooley's mind. For those of you who don't already know, we play out our personal drama. Well, that part to the session is hidden behind. You may have heard of it as a buzzword in spiritual circles, but today we're going to dive deep into what it truly represents, how its laws operate, and most importantly, how you can align with this higher state of existence to transform every aspect of your life. But before we begin, let me ask you this. Do you ever feel like there's something more? Not just more success, more happiness, or more meaning, but a deeper, unshakable truth that you can't quite put into words. If you've ever experienced that longing, that pull towards something beyond the mundane, then you're already tapping into the energy of the fifth dimension. And this is where our journey begins. Now, let's lay the foundation. The fifth dimension is not a physical place you travel to, nor is it some future utopia where all problems cease to exist. It is a state of consciousness, a vibration that exists parallel to our current reality. It's a realm governed by entirely different spiritual laws, ones that transcend the limitations of duality, fear, and separation, which are the hallmarks of the third dimension where most of us operate. In the fifth dimension, the energy shifts from me to we, from struggle to flow, and from illusion to truth.
Click subscribe to this channel to get more profound spiritual lesson.
As we journey together, I want you to imagine peeling back the layers of an onion. Each spiritual law we'll explore will take us deeper into the essence of what it means to exist in this higher state. But the question is, are you ready to let go of everything you think you know? Because to understand the fifth dimension, you must first unlearn the programming of the third. The first and most fundamental law of the fifth dimension is the law of unity. At its core, this law reveals that there is no separation between you and the world around you. Every person, every object, every experience is interconnected, like drops of water in the vast ocean of existence. It's easy to say we're all one, but how often do we truly live it? In the third dimension, we see others as separate. Their actions, emotions, and experiences seem independent of us, but in the fifth dimension, there is no other. Every thought you think ripples outward, affecting the whole. Every act of kindness or cruelty reverberates through the web of existence. Exercise 2. Think about it. Have you ever walked into a room and immediately felt someone's energy without them saying a word? Or maybe you've thought about a friend, only for them to call you moments later. These aren't coincidences. They're glimpses of the interconnected reality of the fifth dimension. The law of unity teaches us that our inner world creates our outer world. If you hold resentment, fear, or judgment within, you'll encounter those very energies in your relationships and experiences. But when you embody love, compassion, and understanding, the external world reflects that harmony back to you. So, how do you begin to live in alignment with this law? Start by examining your judgments. When you catch yourself labeling someone as good or bad, remember that they are a mirror of an aspect within you. Instead of reacting, ask yourself, What is this person teaching me about myself? This simple shift in perspective can dissolve the illusion of separation and bring you closer to the truth of unity. The second law we'll explore is the law of vibration. Everything in the universe is energy, vibrating at different frequencies. In the third dimension, we're taught to rely on our 5 senses to navigate reality. But these senses only perceive a narrow band of frequencies. The 5th dimension operates at a much higher vibration, one where thoughts, emotions, and intentions hold immense creative power. In this realm, the energy you emit determines the reality you experience. Have you ever noticed how certain people seem to light up a room while others drain the energy around them? That's vibration in action. If you're constantly dwelling on fear, scarcity, or anger, your vibration lowers and you attract experiences that match that frequency. But when you choose joy, gratitude, and love, you elevate your vibration, aligning yourself with the flow of the 5th dimension. Here's a practical way to raise your vibration. Practice gratitude daily, not just as a fleeting thought, but as a deeply felt emotion. Close your eyes and think about something you're grateful for. It could be the warmth of the sun on your skin, the smile of a loved one, or simply the fact that you're breathing. As you focus on this feeling, notice how your energy shifts. This isn't just a mental exercise, it's a vibrational reset that aligns you with the higher frequencies of the 5th dimension. An opening is beginning, but let's take this deeper. If everything is vibration, then the words you speak, the thoughts you think, and even the food you eat carry an energetic signature. Ask yourself, are the choices I'm making raising my vibration or lowering it? The answer will guide you toward alignment with the 5th dimension. Now, let's touch on the law of flow. In the 5th dimension, resistance ceases to exist. Life unfolds effortlessly, like a river finding its way to the ocean. This doesn't mean challenges disappear, but your relationship with them transforms. Instead of fighting against what is, you learn to move with the current, trusting that every experience is guiding you toward your highest good. Think about a time in your life when everything seemed to fall into place, when opportunities, people, and resources appeared at the perfect moment. This wasn't luck or coincidence, it was flow. When you're in alignment with the 5th dimension, synchronicities become the norm. You begin to see challenges not as obstacles, but as stepping stones to growth. The universe doesn't conspire against you, it conspires for you. How do you step into this flow? By surrendering. And I know surrender is one of the hardest things for us to do because it feels like giving up control. But here's the paradox. The more you try to control, the more resistance you create. When you let go and trust the process, the universe responds in kind. Ask yourself, where in my life am I holding on too tightly? What would happen if I simply let go? Finally, let's explore the law of truth. The 5th dimension is a realm of authenticity. Masks, facades, and illusions cannot exist here. To live in the 5th dimension, you must align with your highest truth, the essence of who you are, beyond the roles you play or the expectations of others. But here's the catch. The truth will often challenge your ego. It will ask you to shed the layers of identity you've built over the years. This process can feel uncomfortable. even painful, but it's necessary for growth. The fifth dimension calls you to step into your power, not the kind of power rooted in dominance, but the power of being unapologetically yourself. As ever, the story of September reveals. So, let me ask you, are you living your truth? Or are you living the version of yourself that others expect you to be? If you're not sure, take a moment to sit in silence. Listen to the whispers of your soul. It's always guiding you, but you must be willing to tune in. Ennis mixed to 3 creams, made from a standard source, which binds the senses and keeps us motivated. Now that we've uncovered the foundational spiritual laws of the fifth dimension, unity, vibration, flow, and truth, we must go deeper into how these principles fundamentally transform the way you experience reality. The fifth dimension isn't just a theory or an abstract idea. It's a living, breathing state of being that challenges the very fabric of what you believe to be true. Now that we've been creativity for the fifth dimension, let's move on to the practical side of developing it, says Fletch. Resistance to tea passes the fifth dimension. To truly inhabit the fifth dimension, you must understand how its perspective shifts every aspect of your existence. Let's begin with time. In the third dimension, time is linear. You perceive the past as something that has already happened, the present as what's happening now, and the future as something that is yet to unfold. But in the fifth dimension, this concept of time dissolves. Time becomes fluid, more like a vast ocean than a rigid timeline. Past, present, and future exist simultaneously, and what you do in this moment has the power to shift not only your future, but even your past. Imagine this. You're carrying emotional pain from a memory, something that happened years ago, a wound that never quite healed. From the third dimensional perspective, you'd think that moment is fixed, that it's over and done with, and all you can do is manage the emotions it left behind. But in the fifth dimension, you recognize that memory as energy, and energy can be transformed by bringing love, forgiveness, and understanding to that moment right now. You can change the vibration of that event. The ripple effect of your healing radiates across timelines, altering not only how you perceive the past, but also how it continues to influence your present and future. This is where the next spiritual law comes in, the law of presence. In the fifth dimension, the present moment is everything. The past and future are merely reflections of the energy you hold right now. Think of it like a prism. The light you shine in the present moment breaks into infinite colors, casting its influence backward and forward in time. When you master presence, you become the architect of your reality. You're no longer a victim of what was or what might be, you're the creator of what is. But let me ask you something. How often are you truly present? How often do you find yourself dwelling on the past or worrying about the future? The third dimension thrives on distraction, keeping you trapped in the stories of what could have been or what might go wrong. To align with the fifth dimension, you must train yourself to anchor fully into the now. You must train yourself to anchor fully into the now. Start small. The next time you feel your mind drift, gently bring your focus back to your breath. Feel the air entering your lungs, the beat of your heart, the ground beneath your feet. These simple acts of awareness are your gateway to presence and to the fifth dimension. Another transformative aspect of the fifth dimension is its relationship with manifestation. In the third dimension, manifestation is often seen as a process of effort, setting goals, taking action, and working hard to bring your desires into reality. But the fifth dimension operates on an entirely different frequency. Here, manifestation is instantaneous because there is no separation between thought and experience. Your inner world and outer world are one and the same. Now, this might sound magical, even impossible, but think about it. Haven't you already had moments where your thoughts seem to materialize out of thin air? Perhaps you were thinking of someone and they suddenly called you. Or maybe you were envisioning an opportunity and it appeared in your life soon after. These aren't coincidences. They're glimpses of fifth-dimensional manifestations. The key is to recognize that this power is always available to you, but it requires clarity and alignment. Here's the catch though. In the fifth dimension, the universe doesn't respond to what you want, it responds to what you are. If you're vibrating at a frequency of lack, fear, or doubt, you'll manifest situations that mirror those energies. But if you embody abundance, love, and trust, even before they appear in your external reality, you'll begin to attract experiences that reflect those higher frequencies. This is why inner work is so crucial. You're not chasing your desires, you're becoming them. Ask yourself, what are you broadcasting to the universe right now? Are your thoughts, emotions, and actions aligned with the reality you wish to create? If not, what needs to shift within you? These are the kinds of questions that open the doorway to higher dimensional living. Another profound shift in the fifth dimension is the dissolution of ego-based identity. In the third dimension, much of who you think you are is tied to external labels. Your job, your relationships, your achievements, even your struggles. But in the fifth dimension, these labels fall away, revealing the truth of who you are. It's not the case you're blaming yourself, or for lack of metals and trouble you believe in the fifth. This doesn't mean you lose your individuality. On the contrary, you gain a deeper understanding of your unique essence, your soul's blueprint. You realize that your true power doesn't come from what you do or what you have. It comes from simply being. But here's the challenge. The ego doesn't like to let go. It clings to its stories, its roles, its sense of control. To transcend the ego, you must be willing to meet it with compassion. Instead of fighting or suppressing it, ask yourself, what is my ego trying to protect? What fear or wound lies beneath its need for control? By shining the light of awareness on your ego, you begin to dissolve its grip, allowing your true self to emerge. Finally, let's talk about love. In the fifth dimension, love isn't just an emotion, it's the very fabric of reality. Everything you see, everything you experience is an expression of love in some form. This might be hard to grasp, especially when you're faced with pain, conflict, or injustice. But from the fifth dimensional perspective, even these experiences serve a purpose. They're opportunities for growth, for healing, for the expansion of love itself. So, let me ask you, can you find love in the places where it's hardest to see? Can you look at your challenges, your pain, even the people who've hurt you, and recognize the lessons they brought into your life? This doesn't mean you have to condone harmful behavior or bypass your emotions. It means choosing to see the bigger picture, to trust that even in the darkest moments, love is working behind the scenes. This is the quantum leap of the fifth dimension. The realization that you are not separate from the universe. You are the universe, experiencing itself. And with this realization comes an infinite possibility to create, to heal, and to evolve. As we continue this journey into the fifth dimension, let's focus on something that resonates deeply with all of us. Purpose. Why are you here? Why, out of infinite possibilities, did your soul choose this time, this body, this life? In the third dimension, purpose is often tied to external achievements, career success, relationships, or societal expectations. But in the fifth dimension, purpose takes on a whole new meaning. It's not about doing, it's about being. It's not about striving to find purpose, but remembering the essence of who you already are. So let me ask you, have you ever felt that quiet, persistent longing deep within, a sense that you're meant for something greater, something beyond the mundane routines of life? That's not your imagination. It's your soul whispering, calling you to awaken to your higher purpose. In the fifth dimension, this purpose is not a destination. It's a way of living. It's about aligning with the unique frequency of your soul and allowing that vibration to ripple through everything you do. Here's where the next spiritual law comes into play, the law of resonance. In the fifth dimension, the universe operates like a finely tuned symphony, with every soul contributing its unique note to the collective harmony. Your purpose isn't something you find outside of yourself. It's the resonance of your unique energy signature. When you align with your soul's truth, you naturally attract the people, opportunities, and experiences that are meant for you. Think of it like this. In the third dimension, you might feel like you have to force things to happen, pushing against obstacles, chasing opportunities, or trying to fit into roles that don't quite feel right. But in the fifth dimension, your purpose unfolds effortlessly when you embody your authentic self. The more you align with your truth, the more the universe aligns with you, because it mirrors the vibration you hold within. But let's get practical. How do you align with your soul's resonance when the noise of the third dimension is so loud? Start by asking yourself this simple yet profound question. What brings me alive? Not what society tells you to value, not what others expect of you, but what lights a fire in your heart and makes time disappear. When you follow what brings you alive, you're not just pursuing a passion, you're tapping into the frequency of your soul. You're stepping into the flow of your purpose. However, aligning with your purpose often requires letting go of what no longer resonates. This leads us to another key principle of the fifth dimension, the law of release. To ascend into higher states of consciousness, you must shed the layers of fear, doubt, and attachment that weigh you down. It's like climbing a mountain. You can't carry unnecessary baggage if you want to reach the summit. The fifth dimension invites you to release anything that no longer serves your highest good, whether it's limiting beliefs, toxic relationships, or outdated versions of yourself. But here's the thing, letting go isn't always easy. The ego clings to the familiar even when it's painful because it fears the unknown. So when faced with the choice to release, ask yourself, what am I holding on to and why? Is it out of love or is it out of fear? When you can answer honestly, you'll know what needs to stay and what needs to go. In the fifth dimension, this process of release is not about loss, it's about expansion. Every time you let go of something that's not in alignment with your soul, you create space for something greater to enter. This is the paradox of ascension. The more you surrender, the more you gain. The more you release, the more you embody the fullness of who you are. And as you align with your purpose, something extraordinary begins to happen. You become a co-creator of reality. This brings us to the law of co-creation. In the third dimension, life often feels like something that happens to you. But in the fifth dimension, you realize that life happens through you. You're not a passive observer. You're an active participant in the unfolding of the universe. Every thought, every intention, every action contributes to the collective reality we all share. But co-creation requires two things: clarity and trust. Clarity comes from knowing what you truly desire, not from the ego, but from the soul. What is it that your heart yearns for? Not because it will make you successful or worthy, but because it feels like home. Trust, on the other hand, comes from surrendering the how. In the fifth dimension, you don't need to control every detail of the process. When you align with your soul's resonance, the universe orchestrates the how in ways you could never imagine. Here's my conversation with Dari. So, let me leave you with this. What reality are you co-creating right now? Are you living in alignment with your soul's purpose, or are you caught in the illusions of the third dimension? The fifth dimension is always available to you, but it requires a conscious choice to step into its flow. It asks you to trust that your purpose is not something you must chase. It's something you already are. Now, we've arrived at the heart of this journey, the point where understanding the fifth dimension transforms into living it. The laws we've explored, unity, vibration, flow, truth, presence, resonance, release, and co-creation, are not abstract ideas to ponder, but here's the most profound truth of all. The fifth dimension is not something you ascend to, it's something you embody. It's not a destination, it's a state of being. The question is, are you ready to become the light that you already are? This podcast is all about helping you to do this. Let's start. Living in the fifth dimension begins with a radical shift in perception. In the third dimension, life is often seen as a struggle, a constant battle to survive, succeed, or prove your worth. But in the fifth dimension, you realize there is nothing to prove, nothing to fight against, and nothing to fear. You are not here to suffer. You are here to create, to love, and to expand the universe simply by being yourself. Let's start with the most transformative law of all, the law of love. In the fifth dimension, love is no longer conditional or transactional. It's not something you give or receive, it's something you are. Love is the essence of everything, the force that binds the universe together. When you live in the fifth dimension, every thought, word, and action is rooted in love, not the fleeting emotion, but the eternal truth. But let's be honest, living from love isn't always easy. The world around us is still deeply rooted in the third dimension, filled with fear, division, and pain. So how do you hold the vibration of love when faced with anger, conflict, or loss? The answer lies in one simple practice: compassion. Compassion is the bridge between dimensions. It allows you to see beyond the surface of someone's actions or words and recognize the wounded soul beneath. When you respond to pain with love instead of judgment, you dissolve the illusion of separation and anchor the energy of the fifth dimension into the world. Finally, the most profound aspect of living in the fifth dimension is being of service. When you align with the energy of the fifth dimension, your purpose naturally expands beyond yourself. You realize that your growth is not just for you, it's for the collective. Every time you heal, forgive, or embody love, you contribute to the healing of the whole. You become a beacon of light in a world that desperately needs it. But remember, service doesn't have to be grand or dramatic. It can be as simple as smiling at a stranger, listening without judgment, or holding space for someone who is struggling. The smallest acts of love ripple outward in ways you can't even imagine. Ask yourself, how can I bring more light to the world today? The answer to this question will guide you toward living fully in the fifth dimension. 1. So, here we are. The fifth dimension is not something outside of you, it's within you. It's the love in your heart, the peace in your soul, and the light that you carry into every moment. You don't have to wait to ascend, you simply have to choose. Choose to see the unity in all things. Choose to flow with life. Choose to live your truth. Choose to love, even when it's hard. And now, as we close this journey, let me leave you with one final question.